lied about the 2020 election. Stuffed ballot boxes, it's all made up. He's lost dozens of court cases. Does it bother you that he keeps talking about 2020 and not 2024? I'll ask you first. This is Jonathan Leslie. He's 40, Republican, voted for Trump twice. How do you feel about those lies?
So I feel like part of it's also the media narrative, as you guys asked him the first question at the town hall about the 2020 election, rather than current stuff.
So don't you think he could say it's time for me to start talking about 2024 and not lies that aren't true?
Couldn't the media ask him a question about 2024?
Well, there were questions, but you're right, that was the first thing, but that's something that was on our mind, and that's why I was asked first. Mike McLaughlin.
Oh, man, don't you love it? Don't you love it? When they try to paint a picture and it doesn't go the way that they expected it to go. Oh, man, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. The way he tried to frame that, and then the way the guy answered. I mean, it's just honestly ridiculous how the left continually tries to frame things a certain way. Oh, man. All you can do is laugh at this craziness. But we're going to be diving into some of the meltdown. Shout out to the Daily Caller that happened after Trump's town hall with CNN. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new, and let's dive in.
From Washington, and it was an interesting night. Mr. Trump's first lie was told just seconds into the night with his false familiar claim that the 2020 election was, quote, a rigged election. And the falsehoods kept coming fast and furious about the January 6th insurrection, about the threat to Vice President Pence, about Pence's ability to overturn the election, about COVID, about the economy, and more. He called a black law enforcement officer a thug. He said,
here we go, throwing race into it. Goodness gracious. You know, they always do that. Oh, let's paint Trump as a racist. And that's why, you know, I try to do my best at making sure that I refute that claim with some of the videos that I've dropped, and hopefully you guys are sharing those so that the world, but mostly, you know, Americans can see the actual truth. Because you see what he did there? Called a black guy. Really? Oh my goodness. Anyway.
People here in Washington, D.C. at Chinatown don't speak English. He attacked Caitlyn as a nasty woman because she was trying to get him to D.C. at China. He called a black law enforcement officer a thug. He said people here in Washington, D.C. at Chinatown don't speak English.
What about what Joe Biden said at the about the gas stations? What about what? Wait, did I say Obama? What about Joe? I don't know what I said. I'm just getting so frustrated and angry that they're so quick to put this light on Trump. Oh, he's a terrible guy, but nobody talks about the stuff that Joe said. Joe talking about the racial jungle, Joe giving the eulogy. What about Joe basically calling black kids roaches? You know, I mean, at least that's what it sounded like to me. You know, the whole kids jumping on his lap and all that, you know. Joe said it, not me, okay? Joe said it, not me. All right, Obama being the first well-dressed, or well, how did that quote go? The terrible quote about Obama that he made, the what was it, the gas station? Where he tried to mimic the accent. Oh, they're gonna put y'all back in chains. What about that one too? You know. So like, are we not gonna talk about those? Man, see, listen. They don't want to put me on CNN. I need to try to get on CNN. How do I get a spot on CNN? I want to get an interview. I would love to get a live interview, something that they can't edit out. And oh man, listen. I might have the video like literally queued up on my phone so that they can't stop me, you know, and just boop, press play, put it up to the mic and let America hear some of the stuff that Joe Biden has said. Oh man, goodness gracious.
Attacked Caitlyn as a nasty woman because she was trying to get him to answer a question. Perhaps most chillingly, the day after a 9-person jury of his peers in New York found him liable for sexual battery and defamation and ordered him to pay writer E. Jean Carroll $5 million, he made fun of her account of her sexual assault. And many in the audience laughed.
I've worked at CNN for the past
Oh my goodness. And
10 years, and I greatly admire a lot of my colleagues. I've been able to do a lot of really impactful journalism, but this Trump town hall was the most embarrassing, was the most shameful. I have never felt so bad to work for this network. It was
your network is dying. It's dying. Had it not been for, another network that we aren't going to name, cutting off their nose to spite their face, it would your network would really, really still be bottom of the barrel. Okay? Bottom of the barrel. So I don't get these folks that are crying and complaining that work at CNN. Your network is dying. Look at the ratings. If you don't change something, you aren't gonna have a job. But I guess to these folks it don't matter. I don't know. They like socialism, so they want to take from everybody else and give to themselves. So maybe they don't want a job. I don't know. Maybe these are like the socialist folks. Y'all tell me. I don't know.
a horrible decision to give this man a platform that nobody internally agreed with.
Whatever the they thought they were going to get out of this, they instead have set a match to democracy once again. You are letting an insane person stand there and make people giggle and laugh when he jokes about You make people giggle and laugh when he jokes about
Oh, CNN aired this, man. It's funny that the side who's always screams threat to democracy is the same side that wants to silence their political opponents. Kind of funny how that works.
abortion when he calls an African-American police officer a thug. This insanity
Once again, what about Joe's comments?
should be pulled off the air. Chris Licht, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is astoundingly bad for the brand of CNN. It's astoundingly bad for the country. And it's astoundingly bad, honestly, folks, for every other Republican candidate in the primaries. Wrap that up. It's done. You saw this tonight. You know you can't beat him on the stage. Everybody else, oars up. Time to go to work because he's going to be the nominee. This is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. It is a disaster of the highest degree.
It felt like something far worse than backsliding or regression. I'm not sure what to
They are absolutely panicking.
call it. I wonder what you make of where we are as a culture.
What we saw tonight was a series of extremely irresponsible decisions that put a sexual abuse victim at risk, that put that person at risk in front of a national audience, and I could not have disagreed with it more. It
At risk how?
was shameful.
It was disgraceful on every level. It showed, I wouldn't say it's dangerous for democracy because we passed that a long time ago, but it showed the corrosive effects of Trumpism over 8 years. The most shocking part was an audience who cheered on a president who tried to overturn American democracy. An audience that mocked and ridiculed a woman who a jury of her peers, Donald Trump's peers, found had been. Those Americans there last night turned that into a punchline, laughed and dismissed cops getting the shit kicked out of them on January the 6th.
Does it bother you that he keeps talking
I'm so tired of these folks, man. Goodness gracious.
about 2020 and not 2024? I'll ask you first. This is Jonathan Leslie. He's 40, Republican, voted for Trump twice. How do you feel about those lies?
So I feel like part of it's also the media narrative, as you guys asked him the first question at the town hall about the 2020 election, rather than current stuff.
So don't you think he could say it's time for me to start talking about 2024 and not lies that aren't true?
Couldn't the media ask him a question about 2024?
Well, there were questions, but you're right, that was the first thing, but that's something that was on our mind.
Caitlin spent more time interjecting her own viewpoints or her own views on the situation.
Excuse me, those are actually facts now.
Now, are you guys not going to interject your views on me, or do I get a chance to speak now?
If you're speaking falsely, those were facts.
The town hall is for the president to speak to the voters of New Hampshire, not for this back and forth with media. That's number one. Hold on. We spent 22, 23 minutes talking about January 6th. We could have been talking about a whole lot of other issues instead of doing that for the first half hour or so. But let me be very clear. What was said in this town hall about National Guard troops that were authorized by Caitlin was wrong. I'm on the Oversight Committee. I was in 2 hearings on January 6th. It was testified in oversight that Donald Trump authorized National Guard troops on January 4. He followed up in the call with then acting Secretary of Defense on January 5, trying to see where the deployment was on those troops. That is testimony in the Oversight Committee. Everybody testified in Oversight Committee when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, except one organization, and that was the Capitol Police.
Did you read the
because
Secretary
Nancy
of Defense's
Pelosi would
book?
not allow that. I'm telling you what was testified to in the Oversight Committee under oath.
But let me just.
Shout out to Big Byron Donalds. Shout out to Byron Donalds, man. Sheesh Louise. Oh. Don't you love somebody like Byron, man? You have to, right? You have to. Sheesh, man. Sheesh. These folks. When will they learn? It's not working. It's just not working. Okay? The narrative that they're continually trying to push, it's not working. It's not. You know, and the more that they say, the more that they come out with stuff, I just feel like that just brings even more people in, and it hardens those folks to anything else that, you know, like at this point, I feel like there's a good number of Republicans that support Trump that don't care what the mainstream media says about Trump at this point, because it's just become that obnoxious. It's been that many attacks. There's been that many things said about this man. It's just like it's almost like, you know, not completely, but almost like the boy who cried wolf kind of situation. You say this stuff so many times that people stop paying attention. Don't even care anymore, you know? So I feel like the leftist media have done themselves a disservice. A complete disservice. But that's just my humble opinion. Y'all can let me know how y'all feeling about it. I think the stuff has become just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they just get completely tuned out. Tuned out whenever they start going on their rants about Trump this, Trump that, you know. It's just like, whatever, you know. But like I said, that's just my humble opinion. And shout out to Byron Donalds. But, man, is it good to watch the left panic, utterly panic, because he got on CNN. Oh, my goodness, this is terrible for this organization. Oh, this is just wrong. This is terrible for America. Coming from the side that always screams about threat to democracy. Yeah, all right. But as always, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.